Welcome back inside the Now Morning Show, ladies and gentlemen. CEPEP started back work from yesterday, and this morning we're chatting with the CEO to find out, well, not we, Natalie is chatting with the CEO to find out what's happening. Natalie?
All right, thank you so much, Rocker. So let's welcome to the program Mr. Keith Eddy, who is CEO of CEPEP Company Limited. Good morning to you, Mr. Eddy.
Good morning to you, Natalie, and all your viewers, and I wanted
Well, Mr. Eddy, let me tell you something. Those mosquitoes had grown to a size of about like a overweight bee. So we're so happy that CEPEP is back out to get the bush cut. What was the first day, back out like? What was the first day like?
Oh, the usual. I mean, we, unlike you, I just said that we want to see the importance of when you drive along the highways and highways.
All right, Mr. Eddy, we
got all the contractors out, but we will also focus on cleanup operations because of the disaster with the rain. So we had some teams focus in those areas, the north. Always want to be able to bring some normalcy
Mr.
back.
Eddy, I'm losing half of what you're saying. The sound keeps going in and out, so really and truly, I'm not able to figure out. I'm hearing cleanup efforts that you all did help with some cleanup efforts yesterday.
Yeah. Are you hearing me any better now, Natalie?
Well, I think you'll only have to continue speaking for me to see if, how this is going to work, because I keep losing the sound.
Okay. All right. So what I was saying is that we had the teams out yesterday. We have about 307 CEPEP teams, contractors, with about 90. So we got a lot of them out yesterday. And our focus yesterday was on really cleanup operations after the rainfall that we would have had.
Right. So normally you work with the regional corporation to treat with cleanup and with the ODPM?
Yes, we are not first responders, but certainly once the first responders do what they have to do, we then come and we do the cleanup of, getting rid of debris and giving citizens some normalcy back.
Yeah, I'm still having the y'all are hearing him? Is it just me?
No,
yeah, the sound is definitely coming and going, Mr. Eddy. All right, let us just hope it improves. Because I imagine that if I'm not hearing you, our viewers aren't hearing you as well. But if it doesn't improve, I might have to cut it short. Yeah?
Yeah.
Right. So CEPEP is back out. Right. All right. So Mr. Eddy, just to stick around. So CEPEP is back out, guys. I'm happy to see that it was able to help with the cleanup efforts after those torrential rains, and especially that we're having torrential rains all the time. These days as the Minister of Works and Transport.
Did you not see that yesterday there was a tornado down in Lucero?
Yes, I saw that.
My goodness, I don't know what's going on in this climate. This climate has gone different. But you know what's interesting? We've had, I believe it's two in 2019, two tornadoes in 2020, and this is the first one of 2021, according to the Weather Center.
Yeah.
So this is a new phenomenon as far as I'm concerned. Because the last one before 2019 was in 2009.
Well, yeah, but not a new phenomenon, so to speak. But
it's a phenomenon for me. I don't know, boy. I feel like I'm not sure what's happening anymore.
I mean, I just don't want to get caught up, I don't mind seeing it in a pic and stuff,
Nobody imagine
and
the
watching the movies.
And the people whose houses have been affected by it. Like, it's surreal.
Yeah.
You would not think that we would have those sort of problems in Trinidad and Tobago. We see it in movies like you see, and we watch it. Oh, good, look at that there, boy.
Yeah.
But when it comes home, it's a whole different story.
Yeah, that's the thing with climate change. And, we spoke to a doctor maybe 2 years ago on the show, and he was saying that it's not a matter of global warming, it's a matter of global weathering, where you're seeing things that are normally associated with different regions as pertains to climate just going all out of whack, and you're seeing things that you wouldn't see in an area.
Yeah.
So how
like
we are close to the equator.
In a tropical environment, you probably wouldn't see a tornado, but no, you're seeing that.
Right?
Yeah.
It's one thing if it's a little twister or something, but a full-on tornado, crazy.
I think we have the CEO from CEPEP back online.
All right, so the CEO of CEPEP, Mr. Keith Eddy, is back with us to talk about the cleanup works that they've been doing, with the regional corporations after those torrential rains yesterday. Mr. Eddy, welcome back to the program.
Yes, thank you, Natalie. I'm sorry about the issues with the voice.
And that is par for the course. When you're working with technology, we know that these things happen. So it's quite fine. So, Mr. Eddie, you were talking to us about the cleanup efforts, but let us talk about, one of the issues that we have all the time, which are areas that are overgrown, and we don't seem to know if it's a regional corporation that's supposed to deal with it, if it's a CEPEP. So maybe if you could explain to us the jurisdiction of CEPEP, so that we'll know who to contact when we see, some of these areas that are overgrown, with bush and probably could be a potential hazard.
Yeah, so I mean, you can always call CEPEP. I mean, we do work with the regional corporations, and in some instances, we do some of the work that the corporations are supposed to be doing. So we are there, I mean, to be called out at any point in time so that we can help with the overgrown grass. I mean, this shutdown that we would have had operationally has really brought on a lot of grass and debris. So we back out, and we're going to do our best to bring the place back to some level of beauty as it was before.
But how long do you think that's going to take, though? Because as you said, we've really been down for a few months.
Yeah, I would say that would be probably about maybe a month and a half to 2 months to get all that is out there. And then when we do cut the debris and pile up, sometimes we get, citizens, if we don't pick it up immediately, we get people just coming and throwing stuff and making it worse. So we are going to do our best. We actually have a very good relationship with the Defense Force and some of the ministries, as well as the corporations. So we will be looking for a lot of assistance after we do the cutting to be able to get the debris cleaned up and taken to the dump site.
Well, I'm happy that you raised that point, and thank you for reminding me, because it is an eyesore after you all do this hard work, especially on the highways, and you see these bags and bags of grass just be sitting there. What is normally the hold up to get the garbage out and off the highways?
Yeah, it's really the clean up and pick up. We used to have something called waste removal operators, which used to immediately come after the work has been done, and the bags have been there to be able to pick it up. But we've not had that for a while. Our line minister, Mr. Kazim Hussain, is actually working on getting us back some waste removal operators. So now we really have to depend on the equipment that we have, and we don't have a lot of trucks, but we also ask for help from some of the corporations. So we hope in the short term that we'll be able to fix that problem and get back some of these waste removal operators. And by that I just mean there were people who would come with their truck as soon as the bags were put aside, and then they would pick them up and take them to the dump site.
But as you said, isn't this something that you all can coordinate with the regional corporations? As you said, CEPEP does help the regional corporations from time to time, to deal with their work. So isn't it a matter of coordination? Why do we have, this is what I never understand, that we have all of these bits and pieces or parts and entities, but somehow we can't ever seem to coordinate enough that we can just get something running smoothly. That if CEPEP can't do it, the corporation can work with CEPEP, that works with the corporation, and just when you cut, get the grass removed.
Yes, and that's why we want to get back the waste removal operators, because we don't always get the assistance from the corporation. So that poses a challenge for us, because we don't have enough equipment to quickly clean up those bags that you see at the side of the road, or even the debris that has been piled up. So I know it is an issue. As I said, we don't always get the cooperation from the corporations. So, sometimes they will see it remaining on the side of the road for a little while. But we are actually, as I said, we do have a relationship with the Defense Force also. So we have reached out to them to give us some assistance in that, because we work with the Defense Force in the step-down facilities and stuff when we do the cleaning of that. So, but waste removal operators, once we get those back, we'll be able to do a lot more, a lot quicker.
So, Mr. Eddie, one of the concerns that we wanted to address this morning was how we're going to ensure that the CEPEP gangs stay safe, because even in the earliest of the pandemic, I mean, you're fed up see people sitting on the side of the road, 3, 4, 5 of them, the mask down, and they're having a nice chit-chat about life, I guess. How are you going to ensure that, they adhere to the public health regulations?
Yeah, well, I mean, my background really has a lot to do with health and safety. And the fact of the matter is that you have to literally police them. And what we have done, and just a correction, that we actually call them teams. We try to stay away from gangs because that has a connotation. But what we do is that we have health and safety officers that visit sites. We have field officers that also visit sites, and then we speak with the contractors and the supervisors to be able to make sure that they keep it. It's a challenge. It is a big challenge. One of the other things that we're doing is that we separate the workers now into teams of 5 so that we don't have them bunching with each other. And we have one of the other things that we've looked at is not having long breaks during the work, because when they get breaks, that's when you see them sitting together, sharing a cigarette, smoking, talking. So we've minimized that, and really it is just about us working with the contractors and the supervisors and our field officers to be able to make sure that they adhere to the health and safety protocols.
And can you say what is the percentage of how many workers or a percentage of workers that have gotten vaccinated in CEPEP?
Yes. So I could tell you that internally we have about 63%. And when internally I'm saying CEPEP workers. The contractor workers, however, we are just about 40%. We are constantly meeting with them. We are providing them with the correct information, giving them websites that are, like WHO, that they're supposed to go and look at. Like everywhere in the world and like Trinidad, it's a challenge, but we are going to keep up the fight and make sure that they understand, why it is necessary that people get vaccinated. I mean, I have a bit of an issue where, I've never been in a time in my life where every evening I see 7 and 10 and 20 people dying, and I don't know. It's a little bit challenging for me in my mind why people have not picked that up to say we need to protect ourselves and our families. But we are going to continue to provide the information so that people could then make an informed decision.
All right, Mr. Eddie, we do have to leave it there, but thank you so much for speaking with us. And I hope that so you don't call them gangs anymore, you call them?
Teams.
Teams.
We call them teams.
Okay. Yes. All right. Yes. I understand that. No, I understand that. Hope the teams continue to stay safe as well as yourself.
Thank you very much for having me this morning.
You're most welcome, Keith Eddie there, CEO of CEPEP. And he said, you're literally going to have to police them.